Alignment, truth, and justice is coming for all. This is the time of revelation, and that's exactly what the apocalypse means. In Greek, the sword is that it's also a cross. When the sword stands up, it stands exactly for the Shushumna, the central column of light. It's the neutral zone. It's the third energy. It's also the Holy Trinity, because here is the polarity of the left and the right serpent energy coils around this neutral. They always cross through the neutral zone, and the 0 point as well, always going through any kind of a portal. We have to go through a 0 point. That's also the neutral zone. Lucifer and Archangel Michael, and this was a revelation that I got from Appolymi. Something doesn't make sense. That Lucifer was Archangel, the brightest angel in heaven, and was cast out of heaven by God, and was the brother of Archangel Michael, and that Archangel Michael fought Lucifer, and that he was banned to earth. Why is this here in the code? Because you can see that Archangel Michael, he's wielding the sword of justice against this character here that is said to be Lucifer. He has horns on his head. In this picture, you see it better, that it is a serpent hybrid. I watched Robert Zepper, who is an anthropologist, and he made several videos on Lucifer morning star, and that it means light bringer. And so he was showing how there are also in history benevolent accounts of this Lucifer. I didn't know how to put these two together. So this is Apollymi's account on Lucifer and Archangel Michael, and I will read my notes. Lucifer morning star is one of Yahweh's favorite archangels. Yahweh is creator being of the Creator Council for Earth, and also on the Creator Council for this entire universe, called Nebadon. The other Lucifer that she knows is Draco King Lucifer. Draco King Lucifer is the Draconian king of Draco star system. He's a crimson red draconian. Lucifer Morningstar is the brother of all other angels. He and Michael are rivals, but in a brotherly way. So it's like brotherly bantering. Him and many other angels came down to earth towards the end part of Atlantis. This is the time of Atlantis, and helped fight the great war against Dark Draco King Lucifer. So it was actually, you could say, Lucifer fighting against Lucifer. There are different beings with the same names. Humanity had begun to diverge from the path of the planetary creator council. Angels were only supposed to be messengers. They were sent to protect the experiment when it was being attacked by, we hear it a lot, Luciferian agenda. It was attacked by the parasitical groups, which is also known that they have been taken over, this group of draconians, by the AI. The angels were only supposed to be messengers, but not get involved with the experiment. But they ended up falling in love with the humans. And the angels liked them so much, they started families with them. These were also the Lemurians. The Lemurians were highly evolved consciously. They had no technology. The angels that came to Earth gave them science, astrology, and they also gave them technology. So the evolution of humanity then increased too fast. It's because they mixed the angelic DNA with the way less evolved human DNA. And that created an acceleration that was too fast for them to catch up with. For them to be able to be responsible for it. So the Creator Council for Earth, including Yahweh, decided to wipe the experiment. And that was the first flood, because apparently we had several floods, several cataclysms. Even though the angels had families here, the experiment had been messed with too much. The Creator Council lost control over the experiment. The genetics of a creator's creations that aren't even registered to this planet or even this dimension are coming here and tainting the experiment. There's so much there involved in such an experiment that we cannot even imagine. There was a lot of politics involved that we, from the position and with the knowledge that we have, we cannot fathom it right now. It would be different if an angelic would leave its own body and then reincarnate into a human body. So that's the angelic soul. That's different. Then that can mix and not creating this discrepancy in frequency in the DNA. Otherwise, the power difference is way too high. The archangels asked Yahweh, Dad, how could you let our families die? Why couldn't you allow us to at least move our families into safety or off planet? That wasn't possible because the DNA vibration was too high. The species had to be allowed to organically evolve. So that DNA stock had to be eliminated. After the wipe, a lot of angels were very angry, so angry that they left their heavenly abode. That is the realm of Yahweh that he created, where he lived and where he created the angels. He did not cast them out. They left because they were so hurt. They had at the time a teenage consciousness. They didn't understand it from a creator's point of view. They couldn't. The laws and the rules that needed to be upheld within any experiment or creation. So there are universal laws and rules. This is also how angels started fighting with each other, because those that had not been sent down to earth ended up having to do the wipe as well. We can understand the conundrum here. It doesn't have anything to do with religion. This is very important. They are galactic beings. You could call them ETs from the higher dimensions. The experiment is for the whole earth. So there's never just one person that's in charge. What was the experiment of earth? To cut off the consciousness and also the body as much as absolutely possible from the soul. It's like being Helen Keller. You can't see, you can't hear, all on a spiritual level. We have the physical senses, so that's all we have. But the spiritual senses, there's like so little to go by. That's also why it has been so difficult. Yogis and so, my gosh, what kind of life do they have to live to practice to have an enlightened mind? To know who they are, to have this, I know, now I remember, I recognize who I am, and then fear dissolves and you become the lucid dreamer and the conscious creator of your life. I'm not going to sit in a cave for 13 years in a lotus position. That's unrealistic. Having the greatest challenge, nevertheless, make it back through. That's also why we were given like the greatest DNA. It is possible. And it was so difficult because of how low the planet was vibrating, how low the system that the system had been hijacked and taken over by parasites and taken so deep in vibration, and that the whole socioeconomic system and so forth was parasitical one. So that made it really, on top of everything else, really, really challenging as souls agreed to come here and have this experience because we could. It will bring forth the greatest rewards. Wow. Who is this? Is this the Archangel Lucifer morning star that was created by Yahweh? This is not about good and evil. This is a tragic, a dramatic story. What about this Lucifer that Archangel Michael is fighting? Here he's standing on his chest. There is another Lucifer that we call Luciferian agenda, the devil, which means D of evil. of evil, and evil is life inverted. Suffering, pulling out life from the living torus, and it's going into the death. But in life, death is also part of life, and this is what my higher self told me was, do not mistake the cleanup crew for the parasites. So the cleanup crew is that part of life that's like the composting mechanism. Back to the nutrients that then feed the tree again. Death is transformation in the torus of life, and is like another birth, because every death is also a rebirth. This evil, this inversion of life, it's that black hole. It's pulling it out into the phantom matrix, into this artificial AI-driven system where there's no life. Life can also not die. So dying is also not possible. So it's like this stagnant stasis, stuck, there's a good stasis too, where the artificial life pulls the power out of organic life, because it doesn't have any power on its own otherwise. And what is the power of organic life? It's soul. So it's consciousness. Consciousness that is asleep. And of course, all these mechanisms built into the inverted matrix, into the controller system, into the parasitical system, is to keep us asleep so that the siphoning off can happen. Ishmael Perez's Lucifer is Samana Lucifer. He says he was hijacked and overtaken by AI, just like Draco King Lucifer. He was the creator of the 11th universe of technology. He became the leader of the fallen celestials. He became the leader of the dark forces within our local universe. He's the figure all Cabal families have been answering to. There are definitely these two. One is an archangel and one is a reptilian, draconian, ancient being that has become a Borg and taken over by AI, and that's Draco King Lucifer.